And what is going on, everybody? My name is Travis, and welcome to SF Bay Area Sports Talk. Welcome to another 49ers weekly preview. It is week 10 of the 2020 season. Time is just flying by. I can't believe it's already week 10. And what a big matchup we got upcoming tomorrow against the New Orleans Saints. 49ers right now are playing for their playoff lives. This is a huge game. Now, I wouldn't go as too far as to say this is an absolute must-win game. I feel like even if somehow we don't win this game, I think still at a what would be a 4-6 record, 49ers can still find a way to get to the playoffs, whether that's going to be going 10-6 or going 9-7. I do believe we're going to make a run to the playoffs. And man, this team has been through so much this year with the injuries, as we know. I mean, it's just been completely, just unprecedented when you're talking about how many injuries to starters that we've sustained. And I mean, it is a testimony to the depth that this 49ers roster has, that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have done such a good job building up over the last 3 years. And it's really been put to the test this year. Welcome in, everyone, to the weekly preview. So glad to have you guys here hanging out on a Saturday night. We got your brother Brady in the house. What is going on? How are you doing today? Sup, Travis? It's still Brady. Just going to keep the name nice. Keep it up, man. Always good to check out different channel names. We got Niners fan 97 in the house. I'm not even nervous for the rest of the season. It's going to be tough to win. Not expecting much anymore. Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at the rest of the season, obviously, I think going into the year, we felt like, again, it was going to be Super Bowl or bust type of season. And with all the injuries and everything that's happened up to this point, at this point, I mean, anything, we're kind of, not going to be phased by what happens here. We're hoping for the best. We're hoping, we can salvage something out of this season, despite guys like Bosa and other guys that are out for the rest of the year. And so we'll see what we're going to do here. And, I'm just excited to see how these final games are going to go. I mean, we have a lot to be decided the rest of the year, especially we're going to get into talking about Jimmy G and, what the plans are going to be moving forward. If you'll be the starter still next season, or will the Niners, go in another direction? We got Sebastian in the house. Welcome into the weekly preview. Glad you are here as always. Really appreciate that. Got Cooked Highlights. What is going on, my good friend? Good to see you here today. We are playing on my birthday. Man, that is awesome. Let's get the Niners a win for your birthday. Cooked Highlights. That is going to be what a way to celebrate, especially, as we're big underdogs. Heading into this contest. Nice. I see Cal playing at 9 a.m. Wow, I didn't know that they were playing on Sunday, so maybe the different scheduling this year. We got Will Federico. What is going on, Will? Good to see you here in the chat. Good to see everyone here. And so we're going to be breaking down this, heading into this matchup. And yeah, I'm excited, like we talked about, I think right now, we're hoping for the best, but, if things don't work out well here the rest of the season and we fall out of the playoff race, it's not going to be the end of the world. We'll likely get better draft positioning, but right now the mindset is to win now, to win this season. And look, I'm not giving up on this season yet. I still believe this 49ers team can find a way to get into the playoffs. And from there, anything can happen. I mean, this 49ers team, if they can get hot at the right time, we can start getting our players back healthy, our key players, guys like Kittle, when you get Samuel back, these are going to be huge pieces. And look, even Garoppolo, if he comes back the final 2 games of the year, gets into some rhythm, who's to say he can get hot at the playoffs? So we're still going to remain optimistic, to the best of our abilities. And yeah, I mean, I love the way this 49ers team is fighting. They're not giving up on plays. And so they're continuing to fight week after week. Got to go. No problem. We'll see you back, Brady. I feel like this game will decide if it's officially tank season. At least I get to watch all the important games stress free. Yeah, I mean, you're right in terms of when I mean, we always love to be watching, stressful games because then it means we're in the playoff hunt and things like that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if we're falling out of the race, then yeah, the games, we're not going to have to be as stressed. But that's what we love about sports, the adrenaline roller coaster ride of emotions that all of us fans go through, in these games. I mean, it's so much fun as a fan, and I am pumped up. So yeah, let's start breaking down this matchup. And yeah, I'm going to get into probably the biggest topic that, I feel like we need to, continue having a discussion on, and that is, what the future is going to be for Jimmy Garoppolo. And so, I was reading reports from John Lynch, and, 49ers, they still have tremendous faith and belief in Jimmy Garoppolo. And man, you look at the numbers. I mean, as a starter, Jimmy Garoppolo is, I believe, 32-7. And when the Niners aren't starting Jimmy G, Niners are 5-22. So, I mean, that just speaks for itself. When Jimmy's out there, we're winning football games. When he's not out there, we're not winning. But it's more than just that. For me, and my opinion, and what I feel like, I believe that we should still give Garoppolo that $25 million guaranteed for next year and bring him back next year as the starter. And I'm making this claim based on, when he's been healthy and played, he's played very well as a starter. And last year, coming off of the ACL tear, people forget. I mean, they're just writing off the fact that he took us all the way to the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, he played so well. And I think this year he has not been healthy. So I feel like that's kind of been the biggest thing this season. He sustained the high ankle injury back in week 2 against the Jets. And yeah, I feel like he has just not been the same, since that injury. So to evaluate how Garoppolo has played this year, I feel like, you shouldn't factor that into whether or not you're going to bring him back next year. Because, look, he hasn't been healthy this year. So, yeah, I mean, if we're bringing him back, is it a bit of a risk because you're banking on him continuing to produce at the high level that he did as a starter last year? Yeah, you can say maybe, yeah, you're taking a bit of a risk. I would hate to be on the other side of the coin. If Niners walk away from Jimmy G, he gets on with another team and winds up, really taking his career off to a whole nother level and take that big leap to being a top tier quarterback. Because, yeah, I think right now Jimmy is still, you can say, I would say top 10, top 15 quarterback right now. So, he's still got some ways to go before he can be, in that top 5 quarterback. And, yeah, I'm not going to count him out from getting there. He can do it. He's got skill sets and abilities. And, people say, I mean, he's not obviously a mobile quarterback, but, he can escape the pocket sometimes and, keep plays alive. But, yeah, so let's get into some comments here. Again, welcome in, everyone. Glad you joined us on a Saturday night here. Let's see, maybe have him take a pay cut so then he'll have to work hard for the money. Yeah, I really like this idea here. I just don't know how likely it would be to get that to happen. If that means coming to Jimmy G and trying to work something out. But yeah, I feel like that would be really good because then you can have, an incentive type of contract where if he plays at a high level and meets a lot of, accomplishments, then yeah, he'll get paid incentives on those things. And let's see. Yeah. So really, I like that idea there. Niners fan 97, so next week, I actually don't know who we're playing next week, Brady. So, we're taking it one game at a time here. Yeah, sometimes I do know, but right now I'm not sure who we play next week. If there's someone better available at quarterback, I take that player because of Jimmy's uncertainty. And yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. I feel like when you're going into the draft in 2021, I wouldn't be opposed to drafting a quarterback. I don't think that means that we're giving up on Jimmy G. We could draft somebody that can be, Jimmy can train for a couple seasons, and then we can worry about what's going to happen 2-3 years out. But yeah, I feel like if you can get a quarterback now, whether that's in the second round or third round or whatever the case may be, but I think that would be a good idea there. So we'll see what could happen. We just have to imagine if we took Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, I mean, the whole what if game, it's kind of mess sometimes. I mean, it's fun to imagine possibilities, but we even going back to the Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers debate. When we took Smith number 1 overall and Rodgers was taken 24th in that draft. So things like that always seem to happen, but I'm happy where we're at. I really like Jimmy Garoppolo as our starting quarterback, and I'm really pulling for the guy to bounce back when he can come back, hopefully for the last couple of games this season. Thank you so much, Brady. Good luck versus the Saints. Really appreciate the support. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about also some inactives to report for the game. So the running back situation is still going to be light. Mostert is not able to return yet. Also, Tevin Coleman, he's still battling a knee injury. So it is going to be JaMycal Hasty and Jerick McKinnon likely to get the bulk of the carries. And man, I have been incredibly excited about JaMycal Hasty. He has played very well this year when given the opportunity. And we've heard the comparisons, he's kind of like a mini Marshawn Lynch. I can really see the comparisons, the way he's built, the way he power runs out there. And, something I've said, and I think I would like to see Hasty get a lot of carries. I think he's really earned it. And also McKinnon, last week he had 52 yards on 12 carries. So he had about 4 yards a carry. So for McKinnon, that is much better. He had struggled this year. So we'll see how the 49ers in this game have got to get the running game going if we're going to have a chance. When the 49ers running game is going, this offense is really rolling. You're getting, explosive plays. You're getting playmakers open. And yeah, Shanahan can really open up the playbook if the running game is going. Let's see, these next couple of games are where it's at. If it's a loss, we don't really care. But if it's a win, it is a big one. Yeah, this game, man, it would be so huge to get this win. And yeah, I think we have a chance. But we've got to come out the gate really strong. In that first quarter, I mean, Mullins got to come ready to play. We got to put together a nice couple of drives to really set the tone. Tell the Saints, like, hey, we come ready to play. I mean, the Saints blew out the Buccaneers last week, 38-3. So we got to show the Saints that we're ready for a fight. And yeah, if Niners can get going early in this game, that will be huge. And, I mean, it's going to be tough really to stop the Saints offense. As we know, our defense and the injuries that we've sustained, but yeah, our secondary has gotten better as we've got some guys back now. Mosley, huge when he returned against the Rams. Man, he just continues to get better. He's another guy that I really have enjoyed watching play and seeing his development, especially from last year, jumping into the starting position, all throughout the playoffs. So Mosley has been phenomenal. And also Jason Verrett this year. What an incredible comeback story for my man. Every year he's had to battle some type of injury. So I tip my cap to Jason Verrett for what he's been able to do. And he has just been absolutely incredible with his lockdown coverage. I think he ranks up there as some of the best in the game this season. So, man, if we can step up, it's going to be fun out there. Let's see, number 38 reminds me of Patriots running back Brandon Bolden, who opted out. I think 38, I think if you're talking about Hasty, man, yeah, Hasty is a beast. Saints sometimes play down to competitions, I think. So it will be close. Yeah, I think it will be close. I'm with you, Niners fan 97. I know a lot of people are expecting the Saints to just blow us out in this game. And look, it could happen. I mean, if we come out sloppy in the first quarter, we don't get things going offensively, and you give Drew Brees and that offense a couple of drives to, get a couple touchdowns. Yeah, I feel like you can't let the game get too far out of hand too early. First offensive and defensive drive will tell the story, says Sebastian. Yeah, sometimes that's how these games go. Momentum is so huge, and in sports, all about trying to keep the momentum all the way through the game as much as possible. You never want to let your opponent think they have a chance or think that they're going to come back. So you always got to be playing every play, every snap to the best of your ability. So it's going to be fun out there to start. And let's see, just saying, okay, I see. Nice. Appreciate that there on the comparison. Brady Tart might have had his last snap as a 49er, though. Oh, man. I did see that he is, I believe, going on injured reserve. And, man, it hurts me, everything that's happened this year. Tart, I've loved watching him play. Last year he really stepped up big time, and he's a great safety. And look, I believe he's 29, 30 years old. So, he's not extremely old. And, it's just a really tough break. And I hope he can come back quickly. Hopefully he doesn't miss too much time. But just another really tough break for us this year. And really, when you're looking at, this Niners team is so different than the team we trotted out there last December against the Saints. We're missing like 10 to 15 guys, I believe, that suited up last year, that this year are either they're not on the team or injured or inactive. So, it is, it has just been tough for us this year, but, we're going to keep fighting. We're never going to lose the faith. And I still believe in our Niners this year to make a playoff run, and anything can happen in the playoffs. 49ers should trade for Trace McSlores. Okay. I haven't heard the name, but let me write that down. I'll actually, just to educate myself some more. Someday, I like it when you guys bring names to me that I haven't heard too much about. So sometimes I learn just as much from you guys as, you learn from me. Got to go with no expectations until Washington and the Dallas game. Excuse me. Yeah, I would have to agree. The good thing about not having expectations is, we're not going to get as hurt if we lose. And so mentally, we're prepared for the worst, and we're hopeful that we can get a win. But yeah, it's tough because you go into this season, we all had high hopes, high expectations. This is going to be the revenge tour. Niners were going to continue dominating the regular season just like we did last year. And this is what I think all of us felt like. And I even said going into the year, I had the 49ers going 14-2. And I really believe that. I stood by that prediction. And I think if this team would have been healthy, I would have loved to seen what, how high the ceiling that we could have got this year. But yeah, Travis, he's a meme. Okay. So see, that's probably why I hadn't heard much about him. So that is a good one. As we know, 2020 is the land of the memes, everyone. Always fun to share some great laughs. He's the Ravens backup. Okay, got you. Yeah, I had not heard about him. So thank you for that. Always fun to get the jokes here going. Let me take a sip of water real quick. throwing on a dime. So yeah, we're going to continue breaking down inactives. So Deebo Samuel is not going to be active again, and that's another tough break. Hopefully by next game, Deebo will be ready. Man, he's such a beast out there, and what an incredible season he had last year in his rookie season, and he continued to dominate even into the playoffs, and that's what really impressed me the most. And I love it. We have the Super Mario Yak brothers here with the 49ers. You got George Kittle, you got Deebo Samuel, you got Brandon Ayuk, three guys that you cannot tackle, three guys that are incredible, yards after the catch, the best in the best. So I love it. And when Samuel comes back, he's going to be huge. And, you know, Shanahan loves to use Samuel in so many different plays. I mean, you get the ball in Samuel's hands. He's so explosive. He's almost like a running back. So that's what you love with Samuel. You know, he opens up your playbook. Defenses have to be honest about defending Samuel. You know, you got to defend against him in the receiving game. Also, when he has the ball in his hands, you see what he can do out there. Just really explosive. Look up Trace. Okay, there's a whole song for him. Okay, nice. That'll be a funny video that I can check out here later tonight. So yeah, continuing to, and you know, also Brandon Ayuk, man, you know, he's been so incredible this year. And I think I have his, 371 yards now, 28 catches for his rookie season. And Ayuk is a guy that he just gets better and better right now as the season is progressing. Even Jerry Rice has said, you know, the future is bright for Brandon Ayuk. And this was a guy that when we drafted him, you know, you saw the look on Shanahan's face. He knew something was special about this kid, and that was why they selected him at the end of the first round. And you're seeing it this year paying huge dividends. I mean, Ayuk has been a guy we can rely on. He has provided some of the most exciting plays this season, like the leap he did in the Eagle game where he completely jumped over the defender. And that just shows you his athleticism and, you know, an idea of how it is so hard to bring this guy down, to tackle him. And, you know, the other thing with Ayuk, he's fearless. Back at Arizona State, you know, he was never afraid to go up for catches and, you know, take big hits. And yeah, that's what you got to have in a top receiver. You know, they got to be fearless. They can't be afraid to take those big hits. And, you know, it's all about conditioning your body. You put in the work in the off season, you prepare yourself, your body can sustain those impacts on game day. And, you know, preparation is so huge and key. Let's see. I have, oh, nice. So yeah, best of luck out to everyone's fantasy teams and hope you're having fun with fantasy football. Nice. Justin Herbert and Deshaun. Who should I start? Oh man, that's a tough decision. I mean, you know, Herbert's been playing so well. So sometimes, you know, I think maybe go with the young guy. Maybe he could surprise us. I'm not sure. I don't know who the Chargers are playing against. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. Niners fan 97. But I might go with Herbert. You know, last week he did very well, I think, against the Raiders. So I've been impressed with this kid and what he's been able to do. I started Hines on Thursday Night Football, and he delivered for 29 points. Nice. That is incredible. And I'm going to use, oh, nice. You got Ayuk. Yep, Ayuk. I expect to light up the fantasy board here in New Orleans, and especially, you know, when Kittle is not active and Samuel's not active. So expect Ayuk to really be involved in the receiving game tomorrow. So other inactives, also cornerback K'Wan Williams. He's still battling an ankle injury, so he won't be available. And yeah, I mean, we also had mentioned Tart. Fortunately, he is going on injured reserve, the safety. So yeah, this secondary has been banged up all year. We do have, like I was mentioning, Mosley returning was huge, and this is a guy I've been just so impressed with and I think he's only 25 years old right now. So Mosley, he is a guy I think that is going to be with us for several seasons, and he continues to get better. And I really enjoy watching Mosley being matched up, against a lot of the top receivers in the game. So that will be huge, continuing to see Mosley's development. And then, yeah, Verrett has been, man, just amazing this year for our secondary. So hopefully, our defense in this game, it's going to be very tough. We've seen this year, Niners defense, they've made some stops and made some plays, but for the most part, we just really struggle against mobile quarterbacks, against explosive receivers. We've allowed a lot of big games. Devontae Adams tore us up. DK Metcalf has torn us up. So yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be really big to see if the secondary can limit this Saints offense, try to limit Michael Thomas. It won't be no easy task, but we're going to go out, give it everything we got, and to see what we can do. Herbert going up against the Dolphins defense, and Brian Flores has had a fantastic defense this season. Yeah, Miami's defense has been very good. So in that case, yeah, I think if you went with Watson, I don't know who they're playing against, but yeah, so always fun to weigh those decisions. So best of luck on what you end up doing with that there. And so yeah, also we have so questionable is Trent Taylor, wide receiver. He has been battling a back injury. And then you got River Crawcraft, receiver. He is questionable, battling quadricep injury. Get some water real quick. So yeah, so going this game, it's going to be huge for the Niners to get going in the first half, first quarter, put together a couple of good drives, really set the tone, make some stops on defense. And I think that will be key. And if we can hang around, that's the key. Like I said, for the Packers game, if we could hang around, which as you saw, that game got out of hand quickly. I mean, right after halftime, Packers just completely put it on us in the third quarter. And so hopefully in this game, Niners can hang around. And I think it can be a close game, and then, we can somehow find a way to get a win. And look, to be fair, some of the games this year, I mean, obviously you never make excuses for losses or anything, but when you're looking at a couple of games, that Jimmy G started, and we all know now that Jimmy wasn't healthy, for example, the Miami game and then the Seattle game, those are two games that Jimmy played essentially the first half when he wasn't healthy. And, we fell behind really deep in those games. And so, by the time Mullins was coming in and playing, he was playing from behind. And, that makes it really challenging to come back in games. So, the fact that in this game, that Mullins is going to get a clean start, he'll be able to start from the get-go. I feel like this Niners team can hang with the Saints potentially. And yeah, it won't be easy, but, we'll remain hopeful and just try to do the best we can. And, we got to have some guys step up. And let's see, get to some more comments. Again, welcome in, everyone. So glad you joined us here tonight on a Saturday night. Hope everyone's having fun wherever you are out there. Jordan Reed is back. Nice. That will be huge. The tight end. Reed, man, I loved it. The few games we've seen him this year, I think he can be huge in this offense. Shanahan can use him in many different ways. So he will be a huge boost for this offense to come back. Nice. Dang, you're on a roll in fantasy. Wouldn't be surprised if we pulled this off. Yeah, I'm with you, Matthew. And welcome in to the show. I'm remain hopeful. And if you guys saw my prediction video, I said the Saints are going to win. I was just kind of being realistic. If I had to say, I think Saints will win, but I will say that, I'm not going to write us off I think it will be very close, and we can easily somehow pull this off. So yeah, man, Ayuk, I can't wait to see Ayuk, and the future is so bright for this receiver. And crazy that he's just only 22 years old. That's amazing. You see, I think DK Metcalf as well. He's just 22 years old. So you love seeing some of the most exciting receivers in our game today that are so young. So man, I am so beyond excited to see Ayuk continue to develop and get better. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, we're going to need some guys to step up. Richie James, what a performance against the Packers last time out. He had 9 catches for 184 yards. He was so explosive in that game, and he really showed you what he can do when given the opportunity. And, last year, the game I went to against the Arizona Cardinals, Richie James had the game-winning touchdown. It was one of the most exciting plays that I've ever been at a game to see in 49ers history. So, man, that was so exciting, and I'm really excited to see Richie James. Hopefully he can build off of that big performance. And, with obviously all the injuries that we've, unfortunately sustained, this has given Richie James this opportunity. And so I expect him to go out there tomorrow. And yeah, he has nothing to lose. Go out there, be yourself, play to your strengths, play to your abilities. So let's see if he can go out, have a big game, and you can use him in the running game as well. So many different things you can do. And we got Rob Iman in the house. Welcome to the show. Good to see you, Rob. Hope you're doing well. Time for Hasty to break out. Love the call. That is what I'm talking about. This is a huge under the radar player. And, this is a huge under the radar pickup. I mean, I don't remember when we picked him up in the off season, but man, shout out to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan to bring this guy on board, because he has been a beast out there. And, like we've said, some comparisons to, a young Marshawn Lynch. So let's see if he can keep going out there, and this will be a lot of fun. So, with, of course, Mostert and Coleman out, this is given Hasty the opportunity. And, with McKinnon's had a lot of opportunities. So McKinnon, I think, can still play a lot better in the running game. But if you ask me, I would love to see Hasty get the bulk of the carries. Man, he's just been so explosive and exciting. Hasty and Richie James, yeah, hugely underrated. Are you talking about week? Oh no, yeah. I was talking about the game winner last year. So yeah, that was week 11, I think it was. Man, such an exciting game, and yeah, I do. We're starting to see fans now at games this year, so that has been exciting to see. Just kind of getting a feeling like things are going back to normal again. McKinnon going to likely be a casualty this off season. Yeah, absolutely true here, Rob. And it's going to be tough. I mean, McKinnon, we gave him that big money contract, after several great seasons with the Vikings. I think we gave him a 4-year, $32 million contract. And as we know, the first 2 years, he wasn't healthy. And this year, I was hoping to see a breakout year for McKinnon. And, he's played all right this year. He hasn't played, off the charts good. But, there's still time for him to start getting things going. But I think if he continues to kind of just play, average, I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers cut him. I don't know how much salary we would save at the end of the year if we cut him, from his last year on his deal. But yeah, he's got to prove it here down the stretch, that, to come back next season. But I'm rooting for him. So we'll see. We got Awesome Sports. Welcome to the show. I am doing fantastic today. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well, Awesome Sports, and hope everyone's doing great today. and glad you joined us here on a Saturday night. And yeah, so Brandon Ayuk, man, player to watch in this game. Going to be huge tomorrow. Look to see him continue building on his incredible rookie season. He's got 28 catches, 371 yards so far. And so, yeah, the key in this game, look, Niners, if we can get the running game going, we can make some stops on defense. We saw last year, obviously the shootout game, I think it was 49-46. Jimmy Garoppolo against Drew Brees. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we have another high-scoring game tomorrow. I think this Niners offense can definitely put up some points. That's the thing I love about our offense is, we still have some playmakers. And if our offensive line can, get some protection for Mullins so he can get into some rhythm, I feel like we can hopefully get things going early in this game and put together some nice drives and just let the Saints know, like, look, we are ready to play today. If you're going to beat us, you got to play your A game. And so it's going to be fun. The game is going to be 1:25 Pacific time, Will. So, yeah, kind of a bit intriguing. Normally, we would see the 10 a.m. Pacific, so, 1 p.m. Eastern time. But, yeah, this game, I believe, is the Fox game of the week, so it will be 4:25 Eastern time. So we will get a chance to enjoy some morning football action before the big game at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And I am pumped, you guys. I am beyond pumped. I'm probably going to watch some of the game from last year, because that game was just so much fun and exciting and a lot of great memories. So I think I'll enjoy that here tonight. Not worried about the defense, but really what concerns is the amount of weapons the Saints have on offense. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Matthew. That's what is scary. Michael Thomas, the explosive player that on that offense. You have Drew Brees, just continuing to play at a high level. And, I mean, you saw them and how dominating they were against the Buccaneers last week, putting up 38 points against them. So, yeah, that is definitely, what is concerning going into this game. Can our defense slow down the Saints enough to give us a chance in this game? But, yeah, we're going to go out, try to do the best we can. But, yeah, man, Saints are having a really good season. They're 6-2, and, they're in the conversation, in the NFC. And, it's been weird to see Emmanuel Sanders out there, definitely miss him a lot. But, again, I stand by the decision we made to not bring him back. Of course, we got Brandon Ayuk, and I think not bringing Sanders had everything to do with, saving that salary, because if we would have spent 13-14 million per season, something like that. So, you want to always try to be getting young and have more cost manageable contracts on your roster. But man, obviously, with all the injuries, you realize that if we would have had Sanders, would have been huge. But yeah, it will be weird to see Sanders, in a Saints uniform tomorrow. Tomorrow's announcers, Adam, Amin, and Mark. Okay, Mark showed. With the announcers, some of them haven't been very good for the ones calling the Niner games. I did hear, a lot of people enjoyed Tony Romo's analysis, and I think what I like about Tony Romo, he lets you know his opinion, and I loved it when during the broadcast, I think he was calling a Niner game. He said Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the NFL right now. And I absolutely agree with that statement. And, having seen Warner since we, drafted him and having watched his development, I mean, it's just been incredible to see him take on this leadership role, to have the knowledge that he has on the field. And you see him, during plays, he can, keep his eyes on the quarterback and have a great idea of where to keep his feet positioned. So should he have to turn at any angle, I mean, his IQ is just off the charts, you guys. Fred Warner. So I love, love hearing Tony Romo give his analysis there. Appreciate that, Will. Thank you for the update on the announcers. Because I don't know too much about. I think for me, it's more. I know that kind of the voice. Like if I see them on TV, I'll kind of be refreshed with their names. Let's see. We got Tyler Burbeck in the house. Welcome to the weekly preview. I'm scared to play the Saints. I think we could get blown out. And it is possible. And so we mentally, as fans, as 49er faithful, we got to be prepared tomorrow. I think a lot of us have talked about, I think right now at this point in the season, our expectations right now, we kind of don't have expectations. We're hoping for the best, but we know it's going to be a challenge to get into the playoffs. But with the expanded playoff format this year, I do think if we go 9-7 or 10-6, I think that's good enough to get you into the dance. And, once you're there, anything can happen. And I know Kyle Shanahan has come out and said, this team is not giving up. They're continuing to fight out there. And, so for the people that have, been like, Niners should tank this year, try to get a quarterback or something, I don't believe in tanking or anything like that. I think you still fight for this season because, we still got a chance to go deep in the playoffs. And I mean, look, if we start getting a lot of our guys back, if Mostert's healthy, Kittle's healthy, Samuel, you got Ayuk, you got Juszczyk. I mean, so many, this offense, so many things that we can do. And so this Niners team can get on a roll, and the defense as well, when we get some guys returning, D Ford, if he can come back, and then K'Wan Williams, when he returns. So right now it's going to be really trying to hang around. And if we lose this game, I still think we can still make the playoffs. If we lose, we'll be 4-6. So, I mean, at that point, you're kind of hoping to go, 5-1. I mean, that would be really tough, but it is doable. So, it's going to be tough. Let's see, Will saying headed to bed. Have a good night, Will. Really appreciate you checking in. I know from the East Coast there, it's like 11 o'clock. So have a great night, and really excited to enjoy football tomorrow. So can't wait. Fred Warner has been balling yet, just 23 years old. And man, that is amazing. And, I'm so excited for the future of a lot of these 49er players, that are going to anchor this team for several seasons into the future. We have the 23-year-old Warner. We have the 22-year-old Ayuk. Samuel, I believe, is 24. So, man, so much young, explosive talent, and I'm incredibly excited. Let's see. I think we should tank because Kittle ain't coming back in time. Same with Garoppolo. It's really a tough call because, right now, let's say, we're 4-5. If we're 4-6, as we know, the season we went 4-12. 2018 it was. That year we also had very high expectations going into the season, and although Jimmy's injury, that ended up leading to us getting and drafting Nick Bosa. So, I do see the standpoint from there that if you really evaluate the talent, that we have on our roster that we're missing right now, and you look at our schedule, I mean, we got to play Arizona still, we got to play Seattle still. And so you look at this tough schedule, and, it looks very tough to see, how are they going to put together a bunch of wins. So I can see from that standpoint why it would make sense to try to tank, because, you feel like you really have a long shot. But I think this Niners team is going to keep fighting. And so, we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. Either way, we're going to be in a good position. I mean, worst case scenario, if we fail to make the playoffs this year, at least we know that we still have a tremendous roster. We're going to get a good draft pick, and, we'll be able to go into next season, again, with that same hope and expectations that we are going to win a Super Bowl. And yeah, I believe this Niners team is winning a Super Bowl very soon, if not this year, if not next season, then. So it is going to happen. And I'm still keeping the faith for this year. So we'll see. We got Lino Hernandez in the house. What is going on? Good to see you here. Appreciate you checking in. Rob saying, I'd like to see Mullins use his feet more. Yeah, I agree. Mullins out there, he can definitely be much better moving, in the pocket and just kind of being relaxed, stepping in, making those throws. And so I think with Mullins, the more practice that you're giving him, the more reps he gets, I think he's just going to get better and better. And look, I mean, yeah, Mullins, it's kind of been a story of really good this year, but and also some really bad moments. So I think with a young quarterback, and Mullins is 25, so he's still very young. He's still learning and getting his feet wet in some of these big moments. And I really enjoyed watching his second half performance against the Seahawks. I thought he really played well and, gave us a chance to come back in that game. So I'm hoping Mullins, I think he'll play well tomorrow and, yeah, put up some points. This offense will do that. And it's going to be fun to see Mullins continue to develop out there. 49er fans are doing Jimmy G dirty. Oh, man. It hurts me to see this, especially in the era that we live in now with Twitter. Michael Jordan, obviously one of my most favorite athletes of all time. He even came out and said recently that he doesn't think he would have survived the Twitter era if it had been around in his playing days. And I mean, if we're being realistic, Twitter, especially, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's other social media platforms that get a lot of coverage, but I know especially with Twitter, some people are saying things that are just so outrageous. And, you have people saying that, people sometimes shouldn't be allowed to have access to the internet and just be tweeting out stuff. Because some of the takes, I mean, have just been so outrageous. And as a 49er fan, I mean, I just hate to see 49er fans turning their back on Jimmy G, doubting him, writing him off. I mean, you're not even giving him credit for what he did for us. And so, it hurts me to see Niner fans turning their backs after this man just took us to the Super Bowl last year and, very easily played well enough to win the game for us, had our defense not, fallen apart in the fourth quarter. So, it's tough. And so, look, if when you're talking about evaluating Jimmy's performance, this year, I feel like people are putting too much stock into what he's done this year. And look, I think he has not been healthy. So I feel like, give Jimmy a chance at the end of the year when he comes back. Hopefully he can play really well for a couple games and we get into the playoffs, and then I think he'll have that opportunity. And so, yeah, my final decision, if I had to say, I would bring him back next year as the starter. I would commit that $25 million of the salary. So yeah, we'll see what the Niners end up deciding at the end of the year. And, but I'm hopeful and rooting for Jimmy. Love Jimmy, but tanking is good for us to try and get another star draft pick. And yeah, so I agree, Tyler. I think if we do end up falling out of the playoff race, it won't be the end of it. Won't be the worst thing because we will have a really good draft pick, and with all of our talent basically returning next year, Yeah, this Niners team, I love it because we're built to not just win in the short term, but for the foreseeable long term. And so that's what I'm really excited about for the future. The media trying to push Jimmy G to trade, as John Lynch said, Jimmy is the center of our offense. Yeah, he absolutely, absolutely is. Let me get a drink of water. And so, yeah, the narrative about, trying to trade him, I mean, doesn't make sense to me. Again, with his contract, I don't think teams want to pay that type of salary. And so, man, Jimmy's our guy, and I'm hoping to see him back soon this year. Yeah, for real, give the man a chance. I think it's too much of a small sample size with the injuries to say that he can't stay healthy. I mean, we know about the ACL tear, and you see guys sometimes they bounce back and they're even better players. Coming off of an injury like that. And so with this season, with the high ankle injury, again, I feel like you kind of just have to throw out this year with what Jimmy's done because he hasn't been healthy. And so, yeah, to me, to say that Jimmy is injury prone, I don't agree with that. Too much of a small sample size. Now, I think, like I said, you bring him back another year, and then I think if he continues to struggle next year or doesn't build off of how he was playing last year, then I think obviously it makes it a more tougher decision whether to keep Jimmy G, in deep into the future there. Time to see what the Niners are made of. Welcome, Christopher Walker, to the show. They have a tough one with the Saints tomorrow. Current Super Bowl odds. Nice. Getting the Super Bowl odds here for us. So Chiefs are the favorite. Saints coming in at 2. Steelers 3. Buccaneers 4. Packers 5. So, yeah, not surprised here with a lot of these teams with the high percentage. And, the AFC is really intriguing. I think this year, going into the year, my Super Bowl prediction was 49ers and Chiefs. And yeah, I'm still sticking, of course, got to stick with my prediction. But having seen the season progress now, Steelers, I think, could be a team that might knock off the Chiefs. So don't be surprised that if the Steelers do that this year. And, it's going to be fun, the playoffs. The Ravens, I'm sure, are determined to avenge the horrible loss they had last year. So the AFC, it's gotten better and really fun, exciting to see what will happen. Football is a business. There is no such thing as going over the cap in the NFL. Yeah, the salary cap. So that's intriguing. I kind of wasn't aware which sports it is that the salary cap doesn't really matter. And but yeah, thank you for Rob for that. I didn't know that it was actually NFL. I know that the salary cap I thought was going to be obviously lowered. So due to obviously like not as many fans in stands this year as we know, so revenue is going to be cut down. But didn't realize you could go over the cap and not necessarily. I believe you don't take penalty hits or anything like that. So I know in baseball, if you go over the luxury tax, you do get you do have to pay like millions or something. So there are ramifications. But yeah, really intriguing stuff to look into more with salary caps. We got Hydra Vortex 625 in the house. Welcome in. So great to see some new faces in the show today. Really excited to have you here and all of you to the football community. Really enjoy hanging out with you all, guys and girls. Who else hates the turf? Oh, man. Welcome in, Weird Boy. And man, I despise the turf so much. If we're talking about at MetLife Field, seeing our star players like Bosa and Solomon Thomas go down, I mean, it makes me so mad. I mean, the fact that NFL tried to say that field, there was no, nothing to say that the field was dangerous or so, but you looked at what was going on out there, and turf is just never healthy. Your cleats or your foot can get stuck in the turf, and your body can, do some weird things when you're stuck in the ground like that. And so, I really am praying that they, fix that in New York. I just would hate to see these injuries continue. And, I feel for the Jets and New York Giants that they have to play 8 games a year at that just horrendous field. Some say the Steelers are the worst. Yeah, it's funny, Matthew, I was thinking the same thing. In the sense that, like I said, I'm who knows if they might knock off the Chiefs. But they're playing with house money. I don't think anyone saw them and Roethlisberger having the bounce back year that he's had with the Steelers. But yeah, we'll see what they could do. So wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out early in the playoffs as well. So excited for college football tomorrow. Nice. Go Cal. Yeah, I didn't realize they were playing on Sunday. So kind of intriguing there. So I see we got some Cal Bears fans in the house. Good luck tomorrow. And I'm a Stanford guy, so love my Stanford Cardinal. And hopefully we'll be doing some streams or some reaction videos for Stanford in the future. College football season is a joke. Sad to see how many games have been canceled already. Yeah, I mean, obviously this year things have just been so crazy, with baseball. We didn't have minor leagues this year, and a lot of college games being canceled. And, these are, again, the most important developmental years for these college players, and they're working towards their future and getting to the league. So, I feel for them going through these challenges, but in the long run, I feel like it will be beneficial to them having gone through this. I think, with kind of what we've seen this year, you really see that, discipline and disciplining yourself is so important. And, that helps in all areas of life. When you have a goal and, you put your mind to it and you start slowly but surely working towards that goal, that's what it's about. So best of luck out there to all the college athletes working and building their case for the future. Despite MetLife turf, watch Monday Night Football and oh my gosh, that just makes me cringe so much to hear that. Man, another player down. That turf is just so horrendous. Would have been undefeated if yes, I agree, Matthew. I think we would be 8-0 or 9-0 right now. Just like last year, we were 8-0. And yeah, I had us going 14-2 this year. And so, like I said, I still remain hopeful that this team can get in the playoffs. And if we do, we'll be playing with house money. And when you're the underdog and, everyone's expecting you to not go deep in the playoffs, I think that's when you can surprise some people and Niners can get rolling. So I'm going to be always remaining faithful till the very end until we're knocked out here. Which the 49ers had wide receivers. The Steelers have Juju Smith, Schosner, Deontay Johnson, rookie Chase Claypool. Oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot of the Steelers this year, but just looking at this list of names, I mean, just incredible. And I mean, yeah, we've got incredible explosive playmakers as well, but our issue has been, the injuries, just haven't been able to stay fully healthy. Oh man, love it. A Bulls question here upcoming. So yeah, I mean, love this question. And, I haven't been doing too much research into who I think we should draft. So the draft is now just around the corner. I think, yeah, next week. So probably in the next few days, I'm going to be looking into it. But I'm excited. I am so excited as a Bulls fan. Finally, we have changed up, our entire front office structure. We've brought in a new GM, a new president, we're going to bring a new head coach. So, man, I'm so excited to see the future. We have a lot of young talent and excited. I'll be doing coverage on the Warriors on draft day and for my Bulls. So really pumped up to be doing some NBA videos upcoming. But yeah, so can't give you an answer there, Tyler, on who I think we should pick, but going to be looking into it as the draft day is around the corner. The rapid rise may want to think of making plans of delaying or canceling college football playoff. Oh, man. I mean, I hope not. I hope we don't have to see the college football playoffs get canceled. Last year was one of the first years that I watched, the semifinals, and I did some reaction videos to those games if you guys want to check them out. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that things again that we can get back to a normal life, and we all got to be patient and do our part. As we know, NFL needs. Yeah, I agree with you, Rob. The fact that the Jets and your Giants are still playing 8 games a year on that turf is just horrendous. They have to do something. Whether it's raising money, if money's the issue that they can't afford it. I mean, I don't know why they still continue. We're in 2020, okay? We should not be playing on turf. Same goes for the Tampa Bay Rays. They still, are playing on a turf baseball field. And for those of you that don't know that much about turf, the thing is, it's really hard on your body. If you play more games on turf, you're actually decreasing the amount of games that you'll play for the long term. So health-wise, turf is really bad on your body. And so for the sake of players' careers, I agree. Get rid of the turf once and for all. We just got to. Glad 49ers have grass, field, and turf. Yeah. Thankfully, so thankful we have a beautiful stadium and a beautiful field. And, I just love it. I wish they could have been built in San Francisco, but, I love Levi Stadium. It's really nice. Bummed when March Madness was canceled. That was tough. March Madness always so fun and exciting every year in March, all the way down to the wire, the Final Four and everything. Good news, NBA and NHL players will be, oh, wow, that is incredible. Man, I'm excited that we can start transitioning and, hopefully everything goes out well. Would it rather be Levi's or an upgraded Candlestick Park? Oh, great question. I would have went with an upgraded Candlestick Park. To me, you don't mess with history. The San Francisco 49ers have played all of their games in San Francisco. I think we played at Stanford Stadium. I don't know if that was for 1 or 2 seasons, but I know we played a Super Bowl there. That was really awesome to do that in the Bay Area. But yeah, I think, they should have just built it maybe on the same place where they tore down Candlestick. But I get it because of I don't know how serious the traffic issue was in terms of, did they not want to have a new stadium and to have it be in a bad location for traffic? But look, the history of the San Francisco 49ers is San Francisco. And even, national media, they always will continue to say, even now when teams are playing the Niners, they say in San Francisco. I mean, they don't even mention that it's in Santa Clara. That's the thing. So, it is what it is, but you will see maybe when Levi's, we might not be around if they build a stadium in San Francisco in the future. So I hope it will happen again. But Levi's will, new stadiums will be here for 100, maybe 120 years. We'll see. We'll be eligible when available. Nice. So yeah, always, I think for everyone, we should always be educating ourselves and taking the necessary precautions. Miss Candlestick Park. Yeah, I'm with you. Levi's is way too hot. And I can speak from personal experience and apologize. I know we're kind of going off a bit topic on the game, but trying to get to your guys' comments here. So love sharing your thoughts and perspectives. Yeah, I've been roasted like a tomato at Levi's already. I've had seats in the sun all game, and I'm red as a tomato. I'm roasted. So I love the primetime games, the nighttime games. I love those games. So I'm not in the sun. It's hard to enjoy the game when you just that heat just knocking on you. And there's certain seats in the stadium that is in the shade. So, but the thing is, the shaded seats are more expensive. So it just all depends on your personal preference. If you don't mind sitting in the sun, you could still get a pretty nice seat, but that will be a bit cheaper. Short game will be key. Like, hope they can, open up the downfield. Yeah, that'd be huge. Mullins has got that down threat ability. He can throw some deep balls. And, we have, if Ayuk can get some, and also Richie James, you saw him, all those big catches last week. So that will be huge. Getting, those big plays down the field, getting that involved, and if we can get our running game established with Hasty and get, McKinnon going, it will be huge. SF City Council played hardball when the 49ers wanted to build a new stadium on the Candlestick parking lot. Yeah. So man, I remember reading into that back when it was all, being discussed, and it hurts me that they moved out of San Francisco. My greatest memories starting, when I was going to Niner games was at Candlestick Park. And, it's just hard for me to not be able to say that I'm going into San Francisco to a Niners game. Saints, we got Cross 4 in the house. Welcome in. Loved seeing the new faces so much. Really appreciate everyone checking in. Saints will win by at least 2 scores. So I see we got a Saints fan. Nice. Best of luck to you guys tomorrow. And, you guys are having a great season. And so always fun playing against you. I mean, I hope it's going to be just as exciting as the game was last year. So cannot wait for tomorrow. And so we're going to be winding down this preview here. And so going to get to some more comments. Oracle Park, same way. Yeah, hot in left field. Yeah, you're right. Bleachers, I've sat in bleachers many games. Love the bleachers. I feel like Oracle Park does a great job of really making the experience in the bleachers amazing. And now that we have the bullpen mounds in center field, that's going to make the bleacher section even better now. If you are, I think if you're even center field bleachers now or left center field, you'll be able to see, the bullpen mound area now. So that's awesome. Oracle Park normally has a breeze, unlike Levi's. So true. You're right, Rob. I've had short sleeve shirts at Oracle Park, and that cool breeze, I'm telling you, it gets cold out there. And got to go to bed. Have a good night. Thank you so much, Brady. Appreciate you checking in from the East Coast. Have a great night. Get some rest and enjoy football tomorrow. And man, good luck to your Patriots. They're playing on Sunday Night Football. Hope you guys get the upset over the Ravens. It will be a fun one. So I will be watching that Sunday night game. So good luck tomorrow. And so, before we wind down the weekly preview, just wanted to give a quick, or let's see. Oh yeah, yep, Quan Alexander tomorrow. Best of luck out there, Quan. Tremendous leader, was a tremendous 49er. Just unfortunate, couldn't stay as healthy as we would have liked to. He was healthy this year, and so I hope he balls out for you guys. And yeah, best of luck to Quan. Nice. 11:38. Wow, man, that is, appreciate the dedication, Brady, out there. Staying up and really means a lot. Niners fan, but realistic prediction against the team that just made Tom Brady cry. Saints 31, Niners 20. And yeah, you're right, Christopher. I think if we, got to be realistic here, we love our Niners forever, 49er faithful. But yeah, going into this game, I think, like I said, I think it's going to be very close. I think the Saints do win the game. So I'm going to say, I think it's going to be, let's see. So, man, this is tough. I'm going to go with 30-27. So I will say Niners will come very close. Again, I think we still might have a chance to win. But yeah, I will say 30-27 is my prediction. But yeah, you're great prediction here. I do think it's going to be very tough, to stop the Saints team in that offense. And again, so it's going to be a fun one tomorrow. Can't wait to see how the Giants start making plans with the city of San Francisco and the state on how the plan to face fans back this spring's. Yeah, that's going to be such a big story. And I'm hopeful I can return to a game in 2021. I'm definitely erring on the safe side of things. I don't think that I will be going back to games initially right away. I kind of want to see how things play out first. So, I don't, so that's just for me. I really want it to be safe before I go back to games. So, really excited to meet a lot of you at some games in the future, Giants, 49ers, Warriors even. And so, it's going to be so exciting to meet you guys. I can't wait for that. Let's see. So Tyler going with the prediction. Yeah, with our injuries and us being decimated, can't blame you here with this prediction. Even getting 17 points for us, a couple of good drives from Mullins. So yeah, going to be tough tomorrow. So yeah, we're going to hope for the best. And so, yeah, the key for tomorrow, Niners, don't fall behind too much, early in this game. See if we can establish the running game, feed the ball to JaMychal Hasty, see if he can break some big runs to get us going there. And, yeah, I think that will be huge. And if our defense can get some big stops early, keep the game in striking distance, manageable. I feel like we can have a chance. And so, get those guys involved. Richie James, see if he can build off of the performance from last week when he had 184 receiving yards. Just incredible, dominating performance. See if Ayuk can also continue his dominance. So, yeah, there are some things that we can come in here and play some really good football. And, Mosley has been great in the secondary, Jason Verrett. And if we can get, see if our defensive line can put some pressure on Breeze, we have struggled to do that this year. Quarterbacks have torched us and torched our secondary. And so, yeah, this game is going to be tough. We're going to do the best we can out there. And so, yeah, I'm excited, win or lose. Love my Niners as always. Let's see, after what is going on with Mac right now, Oracle Park, not going to make any risky moves, to harm people. Hate to see the nets extended, but I understand with how many people. Oh, yeah, the nets do, of course, kind of block your view of obstruction, of the field. But yeah, I agree with you, Christopher. the safety is the most important thing. And, the whole Mac Williamson thing. And, so yeah, I did a video on it. And, I would say I got a pretty, I got some negative feedback. And to address some things, what I was trying to say, I totally get from Williamson's standpoint on why he feels like what the Giants did was wrong, and that they didn't move the bullpen mounds until just barely before the 2020 season, and all of that. But yeah, so I mean, that investigation is still ongoing, but I also do understand from the standpoint that, when I'm sure that there is a clause in the Giants contract that, when Mac Williamson signed with the Giants, that, players needed to be aware of the bullpen mounds, and, that, that was a serious issue. So again, I don't know exactly, to in depth with everything, but yeah, so I totally get. My initial stance was, of course, more siding with Williamson, but I at this point, I think, look, Giants, I feel like they're not wrong in what they have done. It's unfortunate, obviously, that what's happened in everything. And I just feel for Williamson, because of his career, his life. And I pray for him to, get back to feeling normal again, to not continue to experience what he's going through as a result of this concussion. And so my thoughts and prayers go out to him. And I hope that with this investigation, both parties are able to come to a reasonable agreement on something. And yeah, so I think there's arguments to be made for both sides, but I don't think it, no one intended for any of this to happen with what's happened with Williamson. And having played baseball myself, and, thankfully I've never had major injuries. I've only ever sustained like minor injuries. And so I really feel from that standpoint of Williamson that he's now unable to, play baseball anymore. And so my thoughts and prayers go out to him and everything. Mac knew the risk going on, feel bad for him. He was already in his late 20s and only starting to get a bit of a hot streak. Yeah, and Williamson I'm even my age, I'm 25 now. And so Williamson, he was 27 and just barely getting his impact at the big league level. And so I agree with you, Christopher. He knew the risk he was taking. And, when you watch the play, he's going full bore right there after the ball. And sometimes you even see guys, they will glance even sometimes at the wall to kind of see where they're at. How close are they to the wall? And I feel like if Williamson had done that, he might have seen where his feet was. But so, yeah, it's just tough, really tough. Will the NFL have a playoff bubble? Interesting question. Not sure if it's going to happen. But I think it would be best, though, because you want to keep guys situated in one area, limit as much travel as possible. So we'll see how it's going to play out. And so, yeah, we're going to be wrapping up this preview. And again, had so much fun as always. Love to hear your guys' thoughts and perspectives. And I want to thank each and every one of you checking into the show, guys and girls out there. And if you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up button to show your support. It really means the world to me. Your guys' engagement has just been so incredible. Your likes, your comments, everything you're doing means so much to me. And you are the best football community out there. So really appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. You guys really make me so happy all the time. So thank you. And I would not be here without all of you. So you guys are incredible. And I'm so excited to see where we can go with this channel and with this football community into the future. And so love it. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys tomorrow for the post-game stream. And I will be recording my reactions for the game as always. So have a fantastic Saturday night, everyone. And let's see, get to this. Reggie Bush, I believe, won money from the Rams when he slipped on cement, running out of bounds when he played with the Niners. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I remember that, and I was reading about that story. And so, just hearing that it just sounds, man, just really glad that Bush, didn't get seriously hurt from that, because, it sounds like it could have been really bad. But man, I just hate seeing these things happen in our game. I love sports, and my dream has always been to play Major League Baseball, and even now I still want to fight for that dream. Whatever chance I have, if any, to get on to a college team or anything. And so I really feel for athletes that go through injuries that affect their long-term health, because we love sports. We love to play baseball, football, basketball, and the hope is that you can have a great career and stay healthy, for your future life after your playing career. So with that being said, thank you so much again, everyone. We will see you next time. Have a fantastic rest of your night, everyone. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Have a great night, everyone.